The great NaLyssa Smith is here. The Indiana Fever first-year player has done a lot. We have a lot to talk about. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi there and welcome to Locked On Women's Basketball. I'm your host, Howard Megdal, thanking you for making us your first listen every day. We follow the women's game 24/7, 365. You can subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts or over at YouTube. Make sure you are following the work we do covering the game at The Next, thenexthoops.com. We have a reporter in every single market. We've got the great Tony East operating in Indiana, covering the Indiana Fever and covering a really interesting young team. And I mean, NaLyssa Smith is doing the things that I have been telling you for years she was going to do. She has been telling us for years she's going to do. NaLyssa Smith has never lacked for confidence, and we're going to get into the numbers because that's how I like to do it. But let's just, in terms of like your first year here in this league, was there a moment where you kind of grabbed onto it and said, not only do I know I'm going to do this, here I am proving it? Just an early game, an early moment, an early rebound. I'm just wondering for you whether there was that kind of eureka moment.
I would probably say our first game against Washington when I had 13 points, 13 rebounds. It was kind of like a moment where I was just like, all right, maybe I can. Maybe I can play with the great players that are in the WNBA. So I feel like that was my first taste of okay, I could hang around with these people.
It's just right from the start. And so we had a conversation back in May when you went into New York, went into Barclays Center, and it was not just 12 points, but it was 17 rebounds. It was 7 offensive rebounds. And so that's not just a question of skill. That is a question of want to, as is rebounding so much of the time. What is it that has driven you to continue to do that? Because you keep putting out the double-digit rebounding numbers. You've got 10 different games with at least 10 rebounds already this year, and you're top 5 in the league in both offensive and defensive boards.
I feel like it's just a will to, want to rebound. I feel like rebounding allows your team, to get those extra possessions, get those extra shots. And I mean, it also helps you score more. When you're not so involved in the game, when you rebound, you're helping yourself out and you're helping your team out at the same time. So I feel like that's the reason why I really focus on rebounding the most.
I think there are people who are surprised about less the classic 5 portions of your game and more about the versatility of your game. And I know we've talked, I've written about that and the way you came up as, you were more of a perimeter player, even dating back to high school. It was a return to it, though, your senior year when Kim Mulkey leaves, Nikki Collin comes in at Baylor. For those who don't know, a fundamentally different system. But what I think is really striking, I just want to throw these numbers out there. You averaged 23.7% from 3 in your senior year of college, right? You are well above that. You're at 37.8% from 3. It's a longer distance. It is bigger, stronger defenders, and you're taking more of them. You're taking 3.1 threes a game. So can you take me through the process of just kind of reintegrating that into the things that you do?
I would say it's just about regaining confidence, shooting from the 3. I feel like my whole college career, it was times where, not that I wasn't allowed to shoot the 3, but that's not where I was most comfortable at. I was most comfortable, banging inside, getting the easy possessions inside. But then my senior year, that's when I really challenged myself into just shooting a couple more 3s than I did the year before. And then coming into the league, it was so much talk about that I couldn't make 3s, and that's what's stopping me from being a great player. And that's what's gonna separate my game. So I was just I gotta change that. I have to shoot more 3s. I gotta, you gotta take some to make some. So I kind of just really took that upon myself, start challenging myself to take 2-3 threes a game and just see where it gets me. It's been great for me so far.
finding those spots, are you getting reps on your practice day that allows you to get to that point? Is it more just trying to find it within the flow of the game? Like how does that manifest itself on like a given possession? Are you thinking in your mind, look, I haven't gotten that 3-point shot left midway through the second quarter, or is it more just you trust that you're going to find those spots in this offense?
Oh, more just finding it in the offense, mostly like trailing in. I see I get a lot of opportunity shooting the three from trailing. It's not really coming off of like making a move and shooting the three. It's just where I'm found in the offense is where I really shoot the most threes at.
So this is a team that, and we knew this coming in. This is a building. This is the start of something.
Right.
With 5 rookies, but there's always going to be struggles, especially in the WNBA, especially the teams that are established, that are further along. But that's really brand new for you. I mean, you are somebody who has won at every level. How do you go about processing that? How do you go about keeping your focus on kind of the bigger prizes down the road? Because I know that's got to be wearing, right? To be losing the way the Fever have been losing this year in a way that's new to you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, losing sucks for everybody. Nobody wants to lose. And, just the amount of losses that we do have, it doesn't really show how good of a team we are going to be. So I feel like with us losing this many games now, it's really kind of like just teaching us how we can, like, gel next year and the years after that. I mean, we're all getting used to each other. We've never played with each other. We're just finding new things about each other. And I feel like it's going to be great for the next years.
What do you think we've learned about you guys as a group from a thing like Wednesday night's game, where you're down 30, you cut it to single digits? This is, statistically, you guys are out of playoff contention. This was not a game that had meaning for you guys in the 2022 season. It meant a great deal to Atlanta, who's fighting for tooth and nail for a playoff spot. What is it? What is that conversation like in the huddle, getting you guys to hold each other accountable and having that type of comeback last night?
It's really about just how you want to go down. Like,
Hmm.
just you could win this game, and just coming collectively and finding 5 players that want to play to win. So we got in the locker room at halftime. We talked to the people that wanted to play, and it was like, I'm gonna play for you, and we're all gonna play for each other. So at the end of the day, we played for each other, and we cut the lead. And we came up short, but we played a hell of a game. So I mean, that just gives us a glimpse of what we can do.
When you navigate this yourself too, on the other side of it, I know you're so close with your family. Are those your first calls after the game is over? Take me through kind of what that post game recovery is like for you.
Yeah, for sure. Talking to my family. I always call my parents, get a little critique from them. Usually my dad. He's the hard one. He tell me like what I could have did better, where I could score more, how like I need to rebound a lot more. Than my mom is kind of gonna be all right. You got a game in a day, you have another game in 2 days. You can't dwell too long on how you played the last game. It's just about getting better from here on out. So those are usually my first calls, to pick me up after a game.
And then just on the physical side of it, this is obviously a very different schedule than you have at the collegiate level. What are you doing for physical recoveries as you are getting from game to game to make sure that you feel at your best in, what's a really demanding schedule here from May through August to play 36 games?
Yeah, usually resting a lot. When we do have off days, not trying to overdo it because you do play every other day,
Hmm.
but still just trying to find that medium of staying in the gym, working out. So I try to like work out after a practice so that on the off days I can enjoy that off day, relax a little bit. So I feel like it's just about, taking care of my body, getting in the cold. So when I got chances, getting massages when you get chances, because it does come at you fast.
It does. It does. I want to get into a lot of what we've learned about you, your teammates, and where things stand in Indiana going forward. I first want to talk about betonline.net, which is the fastest and easiest way to check in on your betting needs. They say on all your betting needs, and they're not wrong about that. There's not just NBA, there's WNBA. There's not just men's college basketball, there's women's college basketball. And in this space, though I'm not a betting person, It means a lot that there is equality of opportunity. It matters for the growth and the future of this game. So go to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening. Bet Online, where the game starts. So again, you have experienced something that very few players in this league have, which is to say, to play among five rookies. What has been, as that group has come together, kind of the most memorable moments for you when you think about it, about this group of teammates? Is there one rookie who you've gotten closer to? I know Queen was somebody you played with, Queen Egbo, for our listeners who don't know, who you played with at the collegiate level. Take me through kind of what that has been like as a group coming together.
It's been a crazy experience for all of us. I mean, you're coming in with five people that all don't know, what to expect out of the WNBA. So I mean, it's good for us because we have someone to go to. Like we're all going through the same thing. We have people to talk to. So I mean, we're very close rookie class. We kind of do everything together, go eat together, talk about games and stuff like that. So I feel like I've gotten closer to all of them. Like it's been a great time for all of us.
And then I know, obviously, Kelsey Mitchell has had a dominant year. She's been on the show. She's somebody who I truly believe should have been an all-star, had there been a just accounting for what took place. Recently, you lost Kelsey for the year with plantar fasciitis. I believe that's what it was. I know it was an issue with her foot. Um, that's got to change things. Does it change just possession by possession how much you're looking to score? How do you guys kind of navigate to make do with the center of gravity changing in that way?
I mean, it changes a lot. It changes the effective score on the floor. Most of our points had came from Kelsey, so we're missing a chunk of points. That just comes from having the next man up. You got to find someone else to, fill that spot and give us the same effort that Kelsey gave us every game. You're also, missing some leadership. Kelsey's been in the league for a couple of years now, so she has that leadership. She's played these games, and you also miss that heart out there. She loves the game of basketball, so you're definitely missing that too. But it's all about the next man up, like I said. So it gives someone else the opportunity, to prove themselves and help us get a win.
Midway through the fourth quarter and was near the end of that comeback. I mean, you're talking a little bit about a trail three, but I just wanted to highlight it because I think it's just interesting from an X and O's perspective. It's essentially a two-person game. There's a screen, and you're coming off the screen to hit a three on the far side. I think it cut it to 6 at that point from that three. I'm just wondering, you know, it's not just a question of you hitting those shots, but is it a question with Kelsey out to try and find more of those threes within the flow of like getting your number called to hit that shot?
I feel like scoring on all areas, not even just focusing on, just shooting the three. I feel like with her being out, it does make me have to, seek more shots and seek more opportunities to score the ball because, you got to fill that area that we were missing with Kelsey in the game. So, just scoring from all around the floor for sure.
What I find fascinating about sort of a well-rounded nature of your game is there is not, basketball reference breaks it down. And so there's 0 to 3 feet from the basket, 3 to 10, 10 to 16, 16 out to the 3 point line, and then beyond the 3 point line. And it's kind of a perfect encapsulation of both what you do and what analytically you'd want people to do, which is to say you take 25% of your shots from 0 to 3 right around the rim, and you're at 60% from there. You're hitting 37.8 of your threes, and you actually take slightly more from beyond the 3 point line as sort of an implicit answer for anyone who didn't think that was part of your game. Well, it happens to be the biggest chunk, right? And then you're north of 11% at every other zone as well. To be a three-level scorer here in year one, I guess my question is, do you know how rare that is? How rare it is to come into the league and be able to do that right away?
I really don't like, sit back and really think about that. But I mean, I'm glad we're having this conversation because it does, enlighten me and stuff going. Because, sometimes you could be hard on you, but it is things that you're actually accomplishing.
Yeah.
And, you don't really know it until someone else tells you it. So, I mean, I'm glad we're having this conversation. So it did help me.
Good. I'll keep pointing these things out as you continue to build in the league. So the rookie who's gotten the least amount of run is Lexi Hull this year. And there's a very good reason. She's battled a wrist injury. It's been difficult to
Mm.
get out there. You guys have depth, and you have depth at her position in particular. How gratifying is it to see her finally get, kind of a moment in the spotlight, get the opportunity to hit double digits in scoring and, in some ways kind of unofficially join what the other four of you have been doing all season?
It's great. Having so much help from everybody. It helps us collectively. And Lexi came in the game the other night, and she just gave us energy, gave us fight. Lexi's gonna play hard, and I feel like that's what we kind of miss sometimes. Is just someone that wants to like dive on the floor, get the loose balls, defense like all the way down the court. So I mean, we get that from Lexi all the time, and when she's scoring on top of it, it's hard to stop her.
And then in terms of that defensive presence, you have a couple of rookie teammates who are really significantly part of that. And Emily Ansler obviously is somebody who came in known for her defense. But what is that like to be playing next to Em and seeing the way she is just so consistently, not just a defensive presence with intensity, but somebody who has that kind of versatility, that allows, I'm sure, you guys to switch on a regular basis too.
Uh, M plays hard too. She comes. It's pause. Yeah, pause.
Yeah, no, I think we're back. I think we're good.
Howard, can you hear us?
I hear you fine. You hear me okay?
Oh.
Here, can you hear me now? Hold on.
Your video is
Here, can
kind
you
of
hear me
turning. Yeah, I can hear you now.
I know. It went in and out. Yeah, I just prioritized the device. Hopefully,
Okay.
that
All right.
we
Yeah,
can
that
pick it
sounds
up from
better.
there.
Okay.
Okay. So I was asking you about just Emily Ansler and her defensive versatility and just how helpful that is when she's on the floor with you guys.
It helps a lot. M's gonna go after every single rebound. So rebounding helps us win a lot of games, and she averages one block a game. So blocking shots and rebounding, it helps us tremendously. It's not always about scoring; it's about the dirty work that other people are gonna do.
So obviously awards are secondary, right? You have hashtag slept on in your Twitter profile. Um, I wonder how much you think about things like the Rookie of the Year award and how much that drives you, how much it's part of your thinking when you kind of process what this year has been for you.
I mean, it drives you a lot. I mean, you don't want your whole game to circle around awards, but I mean, everybody knows there's awards, in our generation. So I mean, you're playing for those type of awards, and it just proves that who's like the top rookie, and I'm competitive, so it's like, of course you want to win every single award. You go out there every night and you try to showcase your talent. So everybody's trying to get the award.
Is it a conversation that you have amongst your teammates? There are five obviously eligible people for that Rookie of the Year award.
Nah, we don't really talk about it.
So for you, it's internal. You think it's internal for your teammates as well. You think that's something that they think about whether they talk about it or not.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody probably thinks about it. All the rookies in the nation are probably thinking about winning the award. Because I mean, you go out there every single night and you lay it all on the floor. So I mean, you want to get credited for what you're going out there and doing.
So the case that you see, 13.9 points per game, 8.2 rebounds. You are a three-level scorer, as we talked about. You are at or near the top of the scout when the Indiana Fever come to town. In your mind, have you earned this Rookie of the Year? There's Shakira Austin, there's Ryan Howard, there's obviously a lot of competition for it. But in your mind, that's where you are. Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe so, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's here's what I know. I know that there is a bright future ahead and many, many awards ahead for you, however this ends up going. So we get to the end of the season. What comes for you? Are you looking to play overseas? Are you looking to take a break from it? And what has helped inform you about whatever decision that you're looking to make?
Oh, well, I'm taking a year off this year. I'm not going overseas. I'm gonna just stay home and train and work out and be with my family. I feel like this is the first, time off I really get to, enjoy my family. For like the past 10 years, it's been straight basketball, whether it's AAU, high school, college, just traveling so much. So I finally just want to, sit back and just enjoy, outside of basketball, because you are a human being outside of basketball.
It's huge, and obviously it has emotional positives that come with it as well. What's the thing you're most excited when you kind of close your eyes and you think about that time with your family? Where are you guys? What are you doing?
Going on vacation. We planning a cruise right now, so that's what I'm most excited for.
Well, you have more than earned it. I am very glad to hear it. NaLyssa Smith, it is delightful to watch your career blossom in just the way I was sure it would. And I also want to thank you on behalf of our listeners. To our listeners, thank you for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. I do want to point out, and listen, this is interesting to find out, there is apparently a men's basketball league also. It's called, I looked into it, it's called the NBA. And it seems like there's an NBA team right even in Indiana. Is that true? Is it they're called the Pacers?
Yeah, it's called the Pacers.
So probably like a good way of killing time between Indiana fever seasons, right?
Exactly.
Well, for those who want to do that, Locked On NBA has your latest news and rumors in just 30 minutes every day. If you listen to Locked On NBA, second, once you make sure you listen to Locked On Women's Basketball and get your fix first. Well, thank you to everyone listening in. We'll be back with you next week. We're here every single weekday. And of course, over at thenexthoops.com, 24/7, 365, where we are going to be cataloging the exploits of NaLyssa Smith for many years to come. Liz, all the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.